I've thought a lot about that. Really, three reasons. And I wasn't conscious of those reasons because they were sort of a lifetime of growth in those three areas. The first one was honoring the indigenous traditions of kayak building. And I saw in TRAK a devotion to not cultural appropriation, but to honor the design. And when I first saw the prototype of the TRAK, I too got goosebumps, because I saw an honoring of the design, that lineage of the single hard chine kayak, the hunting kayak, and I was very taken by it. The second reason was the neuroscience that talks about the blue mind and the healing aspects of being near, on, in, or underwater. And for my lifetime, I was enjoying that kind of therapy, not knowing that what it was doing, I just felt good, being near, on, in, and sometimes underwater. And it appealed to me to take the indigenous design, that genius of boat building over thousands of years, and to have it on the water. My daughter called me about a year ago and proclaimed over the phone that, "Dad, you have a blue mind." And so I had to find out as much as I could from Wallace Nichol, the eminent marine biologist, who's working now with research neuroscientists to prove that being near, in, on, or underwater is immensely therapeutic. And many areas of the world are treating it as therapy, first-line therapy for veterans of violence, PTSD. And I have that experience as well as a first responder. So I benefited over the years from something I wasn't able to articulate. And the third reason is a phenomenon known amongst boat builders historically, this idea of boatstruck. It's not so much in the paddling or the rowing or the sailing of the boat, it's in the building. It's the building of the crafts. And to me, that satisfied another dimension of just a lifelong interest. So there were three reasons. And all of those were fulfilled by spending the 3 years helping to build TRAK in Calgary. I had a childhood experience that frightened me for years of water, frightened me for years. I haven't become a skilled elite kayaker, but I find it immensely therapeutic to be on the water, and gradually have overcome that fear. Shaman practice call it the death march or the death walk. I call it the death paddle, putting those fears to rest. And water has been my ally. The blue mind is what I've taken on. Yeah. And my daughter identified it accurately. Well, the concept of wellness, I believe, is best portrayed in a wheel form, no beginning, no end. I think it has indigenous roots, indigenous wisdom in the medicine wheel. And I had the fortunate opportunity to be trained through a company called wellpeople.com that dealt with the wellness wheel and 12 parts, each of which go together to comprise the entirety of human existence. It talks about all the elements that produce wellness. And three of them actually, that really resonate for me. They don't use some of the local buzzwords of nutrition or fitness or physical training. They use simply moving and eating. And the third dimension that really has meaning for me is the search for meaning in that wheel. When I look at the indigenous design, I look at blue mind, and for myself being boat-struck, it just fits into the thinking of the wholeness of the wheel. And again, I'm really moved by its connections to the indigenous medicine wheel. And incidentally, that wisdom is starting to coming back in force in Canada, and indeed with indigenous groups around the world, because they each in turn had a holistic method of life, let alone nutrition and moving about and transportation and those kinds of things. So I've really taken on this matter of whole food, natural food, digging into the ancient ways of say the ancient grains and heritage other products that are coming back that haven't been adulterated, and to me it all fits into the kayak.